uh, there was a germ, a seed planted in me from when I was 8 years of age by my mother, who herself was a student of the teachings of H.P. Blavatsky. And it's the one idea above all she has ever transmitted to me, taught me, and she would tell me all the things that she read from the secret doctrine and what she learned in connection with her self-development and abilities with astrology, and all of her studies of theosophy. She used to tell me things about astral travel, astral body, astral worlds, on and on. We had many hours of discussion. My all the time asking, or saying, tell me more, really, taking it in and really wide-eyed and open to all the stories she had to tell me from wherever she learned it, from all the books that she read, and also her work with other people in the Theosophical Society. And she told all to me. For some reason, that's what happened, and so a germ was planted in me. And the one idea that was above all others was the idea of progression. And she said to me, and it's what H.P. Blavatsky taught, that all is a progression. That in fact the evolution of consciousness is the continuous progression of the incarnation of God on the earth. And I see that in Beelzebub's tales to his grandson. I suppose what interested me so much in the teachings and the books, such as In Search of the Miraculous and Beelzebub's Tales to his Grandson, and all the other available books, available material that there is on the ideas of Gurdjieff, was my own interest was recapitulating, I suppose, developing my own interest in individuality, self-change, self-development, as it is taught by all the spiritual teachings that there are, that it is by right of birth that each of us, it happens, a moment of illumination, a moment of expansion of consciousness, that comes to many people, but only a few of us, I guess that's what it means, many are called, few are chosen, only a few of us take that and want to do something with it, go further with it, look for a way somehow or other to develop it further. So you see in Beelzebub's Tales to his grandson, chapter 1, 2, 3, and all the chapters that there are through to chapter 48, that there is a progression from the beginning chapter after chapter after chapter. He goes through the same ideas over and over, and principally the idea of self-perfecting of a higher form. And it is by way of continuous progression. So there is clearly in this progression what is in fact the germ of my own self, my own path of self-perfecting, self-perfection, self-change, is in that progression. The idea of progression is all the way through the tales. And by following it, page by page, chapter by chapter, is in itself likened to a plan. And a plan that is laid out in front of you and before you, and by following that plan, it will even come to the reader by following Beelzebub's tales, page by page, chapter by chapter, a sort of revelatory path. He will even begin to see things that he has not read yet, but which is there in the book. And then he will read it, and he will, like, I will do that. I will experience that. I will read something in Beelzebub's tales to his grandson. Wow, that was a realization that came to me before I even read it. It's all laid out on the level of the unconscious, I suppose. Maybe this was the intention of Gurdjieff, because he does say in Beelzebub's tales to his grandson that the real world is on the level of the unconscious.